Oh, you know it. I'm bad to the bone. It's the Ralph's Opinion Show. Yes, it is. And welcome to another edition of the Ralph's Opinion Show. I am Ralph Williams right here in lovely, beautiful Berlin, Maryland, right outside of Ocean City, Maryland. And we're in Studio 10 here in Berlin, Maryland. And so therefore, we got to go to our studio sponsor, who happens to be Mata Heating and Air Conditioning, 724-201-0500, Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. All right, so they're our studio sponsor, and our actual one of our actual sponsors is Mike Dotson Realty, 410-596-1681. That's area code 410-596-1681. Mike Dotson Realty. I'm Ralph Williams, and we're here. I'm your host for the show. It's Ralph's Opinion. We're here every single Wednesday night, starting at 7:30, and we also are also on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, X, and we're on the Kick Network as well. And so don't forget to tune into those platforms if you can't reach us on any of the other platforms, which you should be able to reach us on. And also all the sports platforms. We are on the Huddle Sports Network as well. All right, don't forget tonight, coming up, or later on, coming up right after this this show here, we have the the way I see it with me, Ralph Williams, and that's a little this show right here. If you're new to the show, we talk more national perspective, the good, the bad, and the ugly of Donald Trump. Now tonight, I'm going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of Las Vegas, and I'm hoping, really hoping, that somebody reached out to Ocean City, Maryland's mayor, Rick Meehan, because I want Rick to watch this program tonight and understand that Las Vegas right now is in a world of hurt, okay? One of the greatest cities in the world, they call it Sin City, one of the greatest cities in the world, and it's hurting. It's bad. It's worse, almost as bad as COVID. That's how bad this is, okay? They're laying off dealers in the casinos. They're laying off workers at the hotels. Okay? But I'm going to tell you why this is going on. It has to do with two things: greed and corporations. All right? The good, the bad, and the ugly of Donald Trump. And it doesn't look good for Donald Trump today because he was involved in an ugly argument today with Elizabeth Warren. And it got so far out of hand that no one is playing the argument, because it's got too many curse words in it. Okay? That's coming up. But I want to talk about right now, and I say this every week, why? Why are we out there shooting and killing people? Why are we on the Fort Stewart, Georgia Army base? We are shooting and killing our own military people. 5 guys shot. 5 of our own military people shot right on the base. Fort Stewart, Georgia. Okay. All right. All right. The Mad Yinzer. Hey, Mad Yinzer? How are you, buddy? What's going on? Hello to you as well. And it's great to have you on board here today. And for Ralph's Opinion, you too can comment as well. So here we are again. We got somebody who didn't appreciate their job, didn't like what they were doing in the military, didn't like their commanding officer, didn't like what was going on at home, didn't like, the government screwed them over, or somebody did this and somebody did that. Here we are again in this country. The way to solve it is just to kill somebody. That's the way to solve it. We can't sit down and talk about it. We can't. I've tried. And it doesn't work. Not anymore. Not in this country. Nobody wants to sit down and talk about it. Everybody wants to shoot and kill. Shoot to kill. They go into schools. They go into when the Postal Service employees get fired, they go and they start shooting it up. The cab company that I once worked for, somebody said one of these days there's going to be a postal there. And what they mean by the way they're treated, the way the employers are treating employees, it doesn't surprise me that some of this stuff goes on. Okay? And I know this is an old story. All right? And we're going to indulge some more tonight, too, on this show. A big half hour here of Ralph's opinion. A big half hour. And then we go into the way I see it. Because there's something going on in Washington, D.C., and has nothing to do with, well, it has to do with Trump a little bit. But the way that the town is approaching it is wrong. And it's costing businesses money. And when do you hear this one? Okay? And when do you hear some more stuff I found out about gouging people in Ocean City, Maryland? And we're going to talk about some other topics as well. Pennsylvania still hasn't passed their budget yet. Okay? Transit's being affected by it. SEPTA has to cut routes. PRT in Pittsburgh has to cut routes. We'll talk about that on the way I see it coming up later on. And that's at 8 o'clock. Okay? Once again, here we are. We got to go out and shoot everybody. We can't just sit down and discuss it. Okay, you mistreated me at my job. Why? Oh, wait a minute. I forgot. We hide behind the emails. We hide behind the phone. We hide behind the answering machine. Hey, I'm a victim of it. If I don't want to talk to you, I'll let it go to voicemail. Okay? All right? I'm a victim of I'm a culprit of that problem. If I don't want to respond to you, I email. Why? Everybody else does it. Why can't I? Okay? When people don't get answers to things, they tend to get frustrated. All right? So tonight, we end up talking here on Ralph's Opinion about another shooting because of shootings going on. All right? At a Walmart. At the Fort Stewart Air Force Base, or Fort Stewart, Georgia, or Army Base, or whatever it is there. Okay? All right? Shooting up at Trump rallies or whatever. Shooting up here, shooting up there, shooting up everywhere. Shooting up all over the place. It's almost as bad as a drug dealer shooting up. If you get what I'm saying. Okay? It's almost that bad. Yes, it is. All right? It's really bad. But to hear this every time, tell me something. Tell me why. Why does it constantly continue to go on? Okay? It's a really sad situation. It really is. All right? And I got to sound the alarm. I got to sound it tonight. Because now we're all forced. I've been watching them. And that's because, for some weird reason, these cable channels obviously don't have enough money or enough content to put anything different on. So they repeat the same movies over and over again. And the one movie that I've been watching quite often is the Death Wish movie. Not the one with Charles Bronson. I've seen that a million times over. All right? If you paid me for every time I watched the Charles Bronson Death Wish, the first one, I'd probably be a rich man by now. All right? Okay? All right. We have Pensman Sports checking in. Pensman, thank you for checking in. Everything's going good, Pensman, until I find out today another shooting, this time at the base in Fort Stewart, Georgia. Yep. What's for dinner? I had meatloaf tonight. Stouffer's, nothing comes closer to home. All right. So, again, another shooting. Again, but now it's on our military bases. It's involving our military in this country on our military bases. They're not even safe there now because of your own kind, your own military people are out there shooting each other. All right. Why? Oh, let's blame mental health. Okay, that's part of the problem. Let's blame lack of gun control. Maybe that's part of the problem. Let's just blame something. Let's come up with some sort of a blame. So that way you can say, okay, here's the problem, and this is the reason why. All right, Pensman Sports says, wow, that's a shame. Yeah, it is a shame, Pensman. It's very much a shame. All right. It's a big shame. Okay. All right. Pensman Cyberuski and the Mad Yinzer, my man from Pittsburgh, the Mad Yinzer. Okay. All right. Now, you know what? No, we're not concerned about Pensman got a job, but not where you think he did. All right. And that's not the task at hand right now. We're talking about shootings across this country. They're all over the place. And now it's hit our military bases. That's Ralph's opinion tonight on it. And what I want to give you some homework for next Wednesday. Come to me next Wednesday on the comment section, and I want you to tell me what's to blame for the shootings. What do you think the blame is? Not right now, because I'm going into something else. Okay? And this show's only 30 minutes long, and I want to get into some other things. I promised tonight the rise and fall of Las Vegas. Wait till you hear some of this stuff. Okay? All right? And I'm hoping that Ocean City Mayor Rick Meehan is listening tonight, because this is what's going to happen to Ocean City if they don't learn, if they don't stop squeezing people. And what I mean by it's squeezing their pocketbook, squeezing the wallets. They got to stop it, because if they don't, they're going to turn into this Las Vegas. Not the Las Vegas of the 90s that I know of. Okay. All right. I knew Cyberuski was going to make a comment already. I said next week, Cyberuski, because I'm getting away from the shooting right now. But you know, I'm happy for your comment. All right. Okay. Everybody blames Trump for everything. Well, of course he's the president, so you blame him for everything. I blame Joe Biden for a bunch of stuff. Okay. So here we are. We're done with the shooting. Let's get into Vegas. And then we're going to get into the good, the bad, and the ugly this week of Trump. All right. Back in the 90s, I went to Vegas a lot. My first wife liked gambling, so we always would go. Then she started getting sick, so we started going to Atlantic City, because it was a little easier to get to from Pittsburgh than to fly all the way out to Vegas. Then West Virginia got casinos. Then everybody and their mother got a casino. Okay. So what has happened is Vegas, not like the Vegas of the 90s, where there really wasn't too many places you could go to gamble. Ohio, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Delaware, everybody's got casinos. Why do you think Atlantic City is hurting? Okay. Why do you think for the longest time since Pennsylvania got casinos, Atlantic City has lost money every year since? And this is going to 2010. That is when casinos showed up in all across the state of Pennsylvania. All right. Okay. Vegas was the place in the 90s to go get a job. There were jobs everywhere. I would look in the classified ads. They had, I'm talking about delivering Chinese food, making $15 an hour. And this is in the 90s now. The minimum wage, they were paying McDonald's workers in the 90s $12 an hour. That was before you had $7.15 an hour. That was before you had all these people trying to work around taxes and all this other stuff. Okay. What did Vegas become? Greedy with taxes. When in the 90s, you only had Social Security tax. You only paid federal tax when you worked. You only paid maybe some other tax. Pennsylvania, everything is a tax. That's why it's called Taxylvania. Okay? And in some states, there's a lot of taxes is what makes money. Okay? But Vegas has gotten greedy. And now they're tax this, tax that, tax this, tax that. All right? Now there's a tax for everything again. There's a hotel tax. There's a limo tax. There's a cab driver tax. Tax. There's a tax to roll the dice. There's a tax now in Vegas. Okay? And what does it lead to? $100 per person at the buffets. $100 per person at the buffets. I remember when my wife and I got married, we stayed at the San Remo Hotel down in Vegas. Back in the 90s, $5. All prime rib dinner, salad, baked potato, and a drink. $5. You want to know what it probably is now? Probably about $50. Okay? When my first wife and I got married in Vegas. And those of you who think the other direction, my first wife is up with the Lord. Okay? This year is 15 years since she's passed. All right? Okay? All right, Pensman says, taxes, we're at 5% now. And they're going up to 6%. Yeah. And I got some news for you in the way I see it coming up, Pensman. Wait do you hear this one? What Governor Josh Shapiro is planning on doing. Okay? In Pennsylvania. Wait do you hear this one? Yeah, there's an Uber tax. Okay? But that was never like that in the 90s. The cost of living in Las Vegas was almost the same as it was in Pittsburgh. And there was more jobs and less taxes. All right? And visiting Vegas is different than living in Vegas. I was always told that. And of course, I never lived there. My first wife and I, we were talking about moving out there. Cab drivers I know from Pittsburgh went and moved out there, but then they gambled so much and didn't put their money away because they didn't understand that you don't go out there and gamble if you're living out there. You can't afford to. Okay? It's not like it is when you're a tourist. You go out there, you put your money in, you go back home. Whoop-de-doo. I mean, you're broke, but you're not, you know what I mean? Okay? Unless you gamble your house away or whatever on a high stakes poker game. $100 for a buffet per person. The airport, for the second year in a row, has had dwindling numbers. The strip is empty. The casinos are empty on the strip. The downtown casinos, which of course are the older casinos that think the old way. They give you a hat, they give you a pen, they give you this, they give you a free buffet, maybe, or something like that. They're not as bad. The strip is hurting really bad. And now everybody's squeezing each other for these jobs now because even the most expensive hotels, because of these tax, and these corporate hotels now, it is very expensive to go to Vegas now. They're charging $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $1,000 a night for a room. And people were telling me that I know that live in Vegas, that they know people that have come down. They spend $600 a night for a room, or $800 or whatever it is, and he got bed bugs. Poor customer service. These are corporate hotels. All they worry about is money. You catch what I'm getting at? It's not the Conrad Hilton back in the day. Hilton owns like 6,000 hotels now. Choice Hotels, what do they own? About 6,000 hotels. Wyndham owns all kinds of hotels. All right, you got Trump down there. You got what's the Wynn? You got him down there. All right. Okay. And this is going to happen to Ocean City, Maryland, and it's going to happen to Rick Meehan, the mayor of Ocean City, Maryland, if something doesn't stop with this gouging. Okay. Problem is, Vegas didn't get the memo. Okay. That's the bottom line right there. Vegas didn't get the memo. All right. And now Las Vegas is hurting right now. I've watched a bunch of videos from some people I know who have posted videos on YouTube showing people that what's going on down there. I got friends in Atlantic City that tell me what goes on there. Okay? It's nice when you're on social media and you have shows like everyone else does, and you get to meet other people. All right, by doing this. I've come to have friends here even before I moved down here. So toward, near Ocean City, Maryland. Okay? All right. But what I'm saying is that cities, you better be careful. And another reason why Vegas is hurting, because you can gamble, as I said, anywhere. Practically on the East Coast, everybody has casinos. West Virginia, Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, Niagara Falls, Delaware, Atlantic City, New Jersey. And now you got this internet gamble. You can get on FanDuel, you can get on MGM, you can get on all these websites now that have this stuff. And a lot of these major cities now have casinos, or some kind of a Argosy, Indiana. They have a floating casino that floats out into a lake or into a river or whatever. Okay. It's not allowed to be on the dock. You can't gamble till it floats out into the river. Okay. Mississippi has casinos. And who knows who else has casinos? Everybody has them now, almost. It's a way of making money. It's a way of life. But Vegas has taken it out of control, and they never got with the times. So go ahead, Rick Meehan. Go ahead, Mayor of Ocean City. Continue to do this, because you're going to be the next Las Vegas. It's already happening. We'll talk about that on the way I see it. But I want this to be a lesson learned to all you mayors out there and all these cities and governors and states and stuff like that think you can just try to squeeze blood out of a stone. There's only so much money to go around anymore. Okay? All right. Our country now is saturated, I say, with casinos. That's why Vegas isn't making the money it used to make. All right. Let's pay a couple bills here. Oh, there's Mike Tomlin. There we go. Wrong picture. That's another wrong one there, but that's okay. All right, we'll get the right one here sooner or later. Here we go. This is it right here. Robin Campbell Insurance, Farmers, Bristol West. You live in Western Pennsylvania, give Robin a call, 412-366-3399, Robin Campbell Insurance. All right, don't forget this weekend, the triple header of Ralph Saturday starts off at 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. on 1250 a.m. 92.5 FM, The Answer. Every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., the Ralph Williams, Tony Moreno Show. And we talk a lot about Western Pennsylvania, the city of Pittsburgh. And we got a lot to talk about again this Saturday. All right. So don't forget to tune in, AM or 1250 a.m., The Answer, pgh.com. If you want to listen to us on the internet as well. All right. And then don't forget later on at 10 a.m., right here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, X platform, the Kick Network, and also on the Huddle Sports Network. And also, this show will be uploaded onto Amped Up Sports, the Saturday Sports Show with me, Ralph Williams, Leo Haggerty, and their guests of our choosing every Saturday morning, 10 a.m. And then to complete the triple header of Ralph, okay, is at 2 to 3 p.m., 12:50 a.m. The Answer, 92.5 on the FM dial in Western Pennsylvania. And then on 12:50 a.m., The Answer, PGH.com. The Sports Corner Radio Show with me, Ralph Williams, Smoke and Jim Frazier, Claudia Rosano, and Luther Dupree. All right. Okay, let's get into. All right, let's get some comments here from Pensman. Even the phone apps have casinos. Yes, absolutely, Pensman. They do. Check out Pensman Sports. Check out his stuff. He's on. He has his own YouTube channel. Like and follow and subscribe. All right. Okay. Jeez, Tim Cook. Who cares about Tim Cook? All right. All right. Let's talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of Trump before we wrap it up. The good, Trump signed a homelessness law. All right, put it into executive order. No tents. Okay. I know what you're telling me. Oh, well, first of all, this homelessness around the country, not enough affordable housing, not enough this, that, and whatever. I get that. Okay. But it's getting old. Our major cities are turning into tent camps all across the country. All right. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Okay. So another good executive order. Number two, he sent somebody over to go talk to Vladimir Putin and see if he could try to do something with this war between Russia and Ukraine. Okay. Shane Stepmeyer says hello. Shane, thank you. Shane's part of the the Steelers Dynasty podcast with Bubba Brewer. All right, check them out. They have their own YouTube channel. They're also on Facebook. Check them out. And the Sports Bible Network. Okay. Shane talks about West Virginia sports. He has his own podcast as well. Check Shane out. Thank you, Shane, on Facebook. All right. So here we are. The good, the bad, and the ugly of Donald Trump. That's the good part. He's sending somebody over to Russia and talk to Vladimir Putin, and let's see if we could try to get this Ukraine war done with. Because it's costing America too much money. We got people here that are homeless that need help. Mental health needs help. Roads and infrastructure needs help. Our military needs to be strengthened. And we're worried our economy needs to be fixed. Business subsidies, and we're worried about Ukraine. Okay? All right? The bad. Okay? Trump's being criticized again for those files, those emails. All right? For that rapist who's no longer around, who ran call girls or whatever he did. Okay? Yeah. Now they're blaming Obama. They're blaming Clinton. They're blaming this person. They're blaming the janitor at the White House. They're blaming everybody. All right? I don't care. Our economy needs fixed. The trade tariffs are out there. And guess what? Now they're working. That's another good thing. They're starting to work now. We're starting to get ahead now. Apple is building plants in the United States. Okay. Absolutely. Thank you, Pensman. All right. That's good. The bad thing is those fouls keep coming up. That stuff about what happened with this keeps coming up. Okay? That's old news. Get rid of it. Goodbye. It happened a while back. Who cares? I don't know what Trump knew. I don't care. Trump's done more in 6 months than anyone's done, but it's bad for his image right now because now that's happening. Okay? And the ugly is today he got into an argument with Elizabeth Warren. President Trump, you can't be doing that, man. That looks bad. It looks ugly. And when social media gets their hands on it, President Trump, it goes out there. Okay? That's the ugly this week of Donald Trump. All right? All right. This has been Ralph's Opinion. Stay tuned. Coming up later, or coming up right after this, is The Way I See It. So stay tuned. And until next week, for Ralph's Opinion, have yourself a great night. Thank you.
Welcome to another edition of The Way I See It with your host, Ralph Williams. And now, without further ado, Ralph Williams.
Yeah. And if you were watching Ralph's Opinion earlier, Paradise City isn't doing too good. No, it's not. Oh, yeah, I could sit here all day and play that song. I love Paradise City by Guns N' Roses. Ralph Williams here. It's great to be here tonight for The Way I See It. And it's a doubleheader, 1 hour, 2 shows for 7:30 to 8. Sometimes we run a little over, is the Ralph's Opinion show. And then right after that is this, The Way I See It, with me, Ralph Williams. And we're here every single Wednesday night at these times. And we're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, X platform, and on the also on the Kick Network as well. And so there you are there. That's our new network. We've been on it now for a few months now. It's our newest network that we're on. And we're working on getting on some other platforms as well. We're in the Mata Heating and Air Conditioning Studios here at Studio 10 in Berlin, Maryland, right outside of Ocean City. Mata Heating and Air Conditioning, 724-2010-500. If you live in Western Pennsylvania, call Mata Heating and Air Conditioning today. They are great, some great people with Mata for your air conditioning needs, UV lighting for your property so you don't get robbed, and also so you can see your way in the door when you're coming back from somewhere, whether it be work or whatever. Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. And Mike Dotson Realty, Ocean City, Maryland, area code 410-596-1681. Call Mike today. You want to move down here like I did, call Mike today. Area code 410-596-1681. Been in the real estate business now for 20 years here in Ocean City, Maryland, and all across the Worcester County, Delmarva region down here in this area here in Ocean City as well. All right, let's get to the comments first before we get started with the show. I'm going to tell you how my week went and some other stuff going on as well with my life, and we'll go into that shortly. And I'm here. Great, Pensman. Thank you for being back on the show here for The Way I See It. Pensman comes on double time. And we got B here. Why are you ignoring me? No, I'm not ignoring you, B. I don't know who you are, B. So, if I knew who you were, I'm not ignoring you. Why would I ignore you, B? Okay. Whoever you are, B. Okay. All right. All right. We got Shane Stepmiller carried over from the other show. Thank you, Shane, on Facebook. And John Wong has joined us as well. You two can comment on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, X, and also on the Kick Network as well. All right. The way I see it tonight. First, I want to talk about my week. I had an interesting week this week. On Monday, I went to the doctor's office. My blood work came in. And up in Pittsburgh, I had been struggling with my diabetes. I was overweight, and I've lost a lot of weight. I've lost close to 100 pounds compared to what I used to look like. Had to because of because of my diabetes. Okay? And I will not deny it. I've messed up here and there with some things. Neglected myself, that kind of thing. We'll let that go. That's old news. All right? And it turns out that my blood work came back and my A1C was at the lowest it's been in over a year, or maybe even more than that. And I'm attributing that to me moving down here. And I know those of you out there who have heard some things, going on, with the oh, well, thank you. Yes, I know who you are. I'm not ignoring you. I did say thank you. I always do on Twitter. All right. Thank you for sending me those logos and putting them together for me. I'm not ignoring you. Thank you. I did say thank you if you look at your Twitter page. All right. But I thank you as well. B. Okay. Blake, thank you. All right. Let's get back to this now. So Monday I go to my appointment and my doctor says to me, your blood work's good. Everything's good. You're fine. This is the healthiest news I've had ever in a long, long time. My A1C is down. I'm losing weight. Despite the fact that I've had some, what they call kinks in the armor down here, okay, with some stuff that's gone on. All right. Thank you, Pensman. I appreciate that. Join Pensman Sports. Like and subscribe to his YouTube channel. And he also is on Twitter. Please follow him as well on Twitter. All right. I attribute this to the move here. I will tell you this. I have peace and quiet here. I don't have idiots outside the front of my building screaming and hollering and shooting gunfire. I don't have to hear shouting and screaming till 4 o'clock in the morning. I don't have to hear domestics in the hallway. I call the police and I get somebody on the phone. No, the police come here. I've already had an incident where I've had to call the police about something. I was being harassed by somebody or something. Okay. Had to file a police report. They were here. I didn't have to call on the phone. I didn't have to talk to somebody on the phone. They were here. Okay. Ambulance service is good. The hospitals down here need a little fine tuning. It's taken a while to get appointments. I get that. It's, from what I understand, it's growing down here. The last couple of years, Ocean City, more people have moved into Ocean City than ever before. That's good. Okay. I don't like the fact that it costs me a lot of money to eat out or to order food out or whatever. Okay. I don't like the fact that you know how to make pizza down here. I don't like the fact that there's some things, but you know what? Despite all of that, my health is great. My wife's anxiety has gone away. Our stress has gone away from living in Pittsburgh. All right. And we got paradise down here, pretty much. We got the ocean, we got the boardwalk. Everything's close. If you plan yourself right, you won't be stuck with all that mess at the boardwalk. And I mean by 8,000 people there. But the day I was there when Pensman was down here for the 4th of July weekend, that Saturday didn't seem to be all that busy. At least I didn't see it. Because I've seen it way busier than that. I'm talking elbow to elbow. Okay. We have a fishing tournament going on this weekend. It's called the White Fishing Tournament. What that means, I don't know, and I don't care. I'm not part of it. It's $1 million prizes. Okay. Somebody already got $182,000 in the pre tournament for catching a dolphin. $182,000 for catching a dolphin. Okay. I have no idea what that consists of. I've never fished for a dolphin. I haven't had the time to really enjoy what I want to enjoy in Ocean City right now because I'm still working on my house. Because some things came down that, and some other stuff. Marlin tournament. Yes, the White Marlin tournament. That's what it is. Thank you, Pensman. Okay. But I want to talk today about something that President Trump has done that's affecting Ocean City in a bad way. And it's called wind power. We hear about solar power. We heard about wind power. We heard about this, that, and whatever. Okay. All that stuff. All right. Okay. Oh, that guy. Whatever. Anyhow, some people comment it has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. But there's some people in the state of Maryland here, and Ocean City is a victim of this. They want to build a wind turbine for energy here in Ocean City. They have it. They can do it. Okay. Now, they got the environmental activist people who are interested in this. They don't like fossil fuel. They don't like nuclear power. They don't like none of that stuff. And it's going to get expensive from what I'm understanding because of this nuclear power thing coming back and some of the things that President Trump has done. Okay. Biden, one thing I'll give him one source of credit for, he was involved in that solar and wind turbines. That's fine. That creates jobs too. And when President Trump first became president, he wanted us to have our cake and eat it too. He said, why can't we have solar? Why can't we have coal? Why can't we have gas? Why can't we have it all? Exactly. You want to buy an electric car? Fine, you go buy one. But don't force it on the people. And what has happened now is that President Biden forced it on everybody. Wow, we're going to go with electric vehicles. We're going to go with electric cars. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to do wind turbine. We're going to do solar. Screw everybody else. Screw the gas industry. Screw everybody else. That's what we're going to do. It's forced upon you. All right. So now we have this problem here with this wind turbine stuff. All right. And what has happened is that it's going to affect the city because according to what I'm hearing, down the road, this whole Delmarva region here, which is Delaware, Maryland, they call it the Delmarva region, which is all the beach areas. They go along the coast here. Okay. Eventually down the road, they're going to need some kind of wind power. All right. Because we don't have the natural resources like Pennsylvania and some other places have. That's what I'm to the understanding. Okay. I don't know much about this, but I've heard a little bit about this. Okay. And that tonight is the way I see it. Next, we're going to talk about Washington, D.C. I just read I saw a report from one of their news channels that's kind of disturbing to me because I was in the service business for 35 years. I did it all. Drove a bus, drove a school bus, drove a cab for 15 years, waited tables, drove a airport shuttle. I did all kinds of service work. 35 years I did it. My current wife had done it 32 years. Between the two of us, we have 77 years of combined experience in the service industry, in customer service. All right. So here we are. Washington, D.C. has this ordinance or this thing that the restaurants in town cannot have to, let's put it this way. You're not allowed to tip. You're not allowed to tip in Washington, D.C. at any restaurant. You're not allowed to tip. Okay? You know why? Because President Trump did this new thing where now tips are not taxed. So the city of Washington, D.C. proper, which now, and I forgot to mention this earlier on Ralph's Opinion Show, Donald Trump wants to take over D.C. Now, the city itself, he wants to take over. You know why? Because of that. He just came up with something that's going to work for the working public of the service industry. No taxes on tips. So now servers can make money. And what does these knuckleheads in the government in Washington, D.C. do? I'm not talking about the federal government, I'm talking about the city government. What do? They go and put an ordinance in there that all restaurants cannot have to put the tips inside the bill, and you can't tip now. So now the servers are not going to make any money. So guess what? 50 restaurants and 500 people are out of work. And 50 restaurants have shut down already. I'm not going to go to a restaurant where I'm going to be told I have to tip. If you provide me with good service, I'll give you a tip and then some. Because as I mentioned, if you were listening to what I'm saying here, I was once a server. I once drove a cab for 15 years. I had to work for tips. I know what it is. But if you give me bad service, you get nothing from me. All right? It's given bad people who provide bad service an opportunity to make money when you got good people out there who work and make more money with the tips than they would with the wage that the restaurant's paying them. And you're going to tell people they can't tip? 50 restaurants, 500 people. This is insane. Insane. I'm going to do a little more research on this. And I want to haul somebody's butt on this show in the carpet. And I want to ask them, why would you do this? Oh, I get it. You're losing money from the taxes that you got from the servers. So now you want to punish them for that. Okay? Why? Because you don't get good service and you figure, well, I'll just give them a higher wage so they don't have to work for tips. Because let me guess, there's probably a progressive government in there that thinks like this, because this is progressive thinking right here. And I'll give you a 2-to-1 on this, okay? That this is a progressive government here, okay? Well, thank you for that information, Josh. I appreciate that. Oh, my. Here we go again. Cyberuski, why don't you leave whatever you think I said? Why don't you just leave that alone? I never said anything about that. All right? Why don't you stop making accusations about things I said? Okay? And please do me a favor. Get off the air if you're going to say things like that. Get off my stream here. Please. Goodbye. All right? I'm not playing no more. I'm done. Okay? Take it to your pal over there in South Florida. All right? Let him deal with you. All right? You keep bringing up things and saying things that I said. I never made that comment. You take my words out of context, Cyberuski. Don't do that. Yeah, you too, Josh. I could care less who's a virgin. I really do. That's your business. That's not mine. And I never said anything like that. So don't go there. Please. Go somewhere. Go see your boy down in South Florida. Okay? Leave me alone. If you're gonna say stuff like this on my comments, get out of here. Go somewhere. Please. All right? I've had it with you. Now this is the last straw right here. I let things slide. This is it right here, right now. Go. Go. All right. I just solved that problem. I deleted your comments. Next, you're going to get blocked. Okay? Now, Josh, I'm pretty sure you hear what I'm saying. Pensman, deal with this, please. Thank you. Because I'm busy. I got other things to talk about and deal with you too. All right? So, that's what's going on in Washington, D.C. right now, which is sad. And being that I live in Maryland, it affects me now. Now I'm involved because you know what? This is 35. I have 35 years of customer service. I get where servers are coming from. Okay. But I also get about why people, okay, bad servers are still going to make money now because the good ones can't make their tip money that they used to make, or they're making more money than they were with what they're getting paid. Washington, D.C., the government there, and I'm not talking about the president, the city government itself better fix this. Because if you don't, I'm going to be on this like you wouldn't believe. Just ask Rick Meehan, the mayor of Ocean City. I'm on him all over. Okay. And I hope he was watching Ralph's opinion, because I did something about Las Vegas that was very interesting, the good, the bad, and the ugly. All right. Because what's going on in Las Vegas, people are not going down there because it's too expensive. It's too much. People are not coming down to Ocean City because it's too much. Okay? Somebody's got to do something to make it reasonable for people to want to come to any of these places. Okay? All right? Pensman's my sergeant at arms. You know what that means? He handles all the people who make derogatory comments on here that don't belong. I've been on enough boards of directors. I know what the sergeant of arms is, and he's my sergeant of arms. Takes care of the people who continue to do these things. It's not the topic at hand. And don't you dare ever accuse me of that. Take it to South Florida. Leave me alone. All right? And this is your last warning. Your last warning. Get it? Thank you. All right. I want to talk about immigrants here and jobs. Now, ICE, as you know, has been running all over the place, arresting immigrants. In Pittsburgh, I'm hearing restaurants are closing down because they don't have their workers there now because they can't, because of immigrants working there. Why? Because you don't want to work. You, the American, don't want to work. That can, you don't want to. Okay? You don't want to work. This has been going on for many years now, and we're our own worst enemy. And we stick our foot in our mouths. And years ago, unions were the ones who ran the steel industry out of Pittsburgh and did some other things that were ridiculous. Unions became weak when Ronald Reagan got rid of the union and busted up the union for the air traffic controllers, and it hasn't been right ever since. I don't want to hear about immigrants stealing American jobs when you don't want to do the job. And that's the problem we're having right now in this country. Now, I'm going to give you an example here in Ocean City. There's a pizza shop down here. Just opened up, what about a couple months ago, 3-4 months ago. They had to close. They were open. They had to close for 2 weeks. You know why? Didn't have anybody to work. Couldn't find any. So they opened for a little while just to get their feet wet. And then they had to close and reopen. And they hired immigrants. So what happens now? ICE comes in and sweeps the restaurant. They're closed again. Now, if people, college students who stay down here, people like that, or people who, I can't pay my rent. Well, go work at this pizza shop, then you'll pay your rent. And I don't understand why in the world you wouldn't want to work at a pizza shop, because if you're a contractor down here, or if you're somebody who relies on the summer to make your money, and the fall and the winter roll around and this pizza shop's still open, when you want to work there, make some kind of money so you can pay your rent. Okay. Why are immigrants working in hotels? Hotels have had to shut down because all their workers got swept up by ICE. Because you don't want to work as a housekeeper. You don't want to work as a janitor. You don't want to bus tables. You don't want to wash dishes. Everybody wants the best. Everybody wants it all. You can't be content with what you have. You can't be, I talked about on Ralph's Opinion show before this one about greed and business and corporations owning hotels now. Vegas has turned into that. It's almost as bad as the mob down there. Okay? All right? And here, they just raised the marijuana tax from 9% to 12%. But they didn't raise property taxes. They lowered them. Property taxes here are nowhere near what it is up in Pennsylvania. So remember that the next time you get on an ICE person for coming in and taking an illegal immigrant out who shouldn't be here to begin with because he's illegal. All right. So what I'm telling you is, I don't want to hear it when you don't want to work. And again, we're our own worst enemy. We stick our foot in our mouth. We demand higher pay. We don't care that the person we're working for is making money as long as we're making it. Watch Bar Rescue one time. How some of these owners haven't paid themselves in 2 years because they had to pay you because you didn't do your job and ran their business into the ground. How about Restaurant Impossible? Watch that once. Okay. All right. President Donald Trump is trying to bring this country back to something that it once was that made a lot of money in this country, and everybody was working to where you didn't have to rely on that stupid COVID check that you still think you're going to get. That's not there anymore. So you're out there scamming and stealing, and you'd rather live in a tent than go out and work. Now, I get it. There are some people who have fallen on hard times. You lost a good job that you once had. Maybe you went and you gambled or you did something that you ended up living in that tent. I get that. But there are people out here that have said to me they would rather be homeless than work for minimum wage. They would rather be homeless than work for $10 an hour. They would rather do nothing than work for $20 an hour because they want $30 an hour. Okay? That's why the restaurants up in Pittsburgh and the restaurants in Ocean City and the restaurants in Philadelphia and the restaurants everywhere across the country are closing up because ICE is coming in and taking out their employees. Farms are shutting down because they don't have people to pick stuff because you don't want to work. Okay? You don't want to work. And I have had this conversation with you many times on this program, whether it was this one or Ralph's Opinion. And that's the way I see it tonight. Next, Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro has announced today that to balance the proposed budget and to give the transit systems in Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, mainly those two, the money that they need to function, he's talking about raising the sales tax from 7% to 8%, maybe even 9%. There's enough taxes as it is in Pennsylvania. And he wants to do that now. He doesn't have to. When I lived in Pittsburgh, I was president of the Allegheny County Transit Council. I had to resign because I moved down here. Okay? And if you watch the beginning of the show, which you can watch later on when I archive this, I did mention why I'm glad I moved down here. There are some things that are wrong, but they're getting there. Because I have faith in the man upstairs, the maker. God, Jesus, I have faith in them. Okay? Well, my doctor said on Monday, your blood work's great. Everything's great. You look good. You look better. Do you realize how good that made me feel? I got some other good news today. And I told you last week, 12:50 a.m.'s renewing my shows. That was good news again. So for what little bit of bad news there is, there's good news. But for Josh Shapiro in Pennsylvania to raise sales taxes, this is why they call Taxylvania, to raise sales taxes. Okay? Thank you, Pensman. I appreciate your comments. Thank you. All right. And despite the fact that there's a couple people here that want to make accusations that aren't true, that want to say things about me because for the man down in South Florida that they're friends with, okay, and whatnot, okay. Blake, I thank you for helping me with those banners you made for me. I really appreciate it, Blake. Thank you. Because I haven't had the time to get the software together to do it myself. All right. Whether anyone likes it or not, I'm in a wheelchair, I'm handicapped, but I have a lot to do in my life other than sit there and play around on that Sabera or whatever it's called. Okay. All right. So, Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro wants to raise the sales tax to pay for transit. You know, that's not going to go over well with anyone because there's people out here that could care less about transit. But what people don't understand, Pittsburgh now is the new hub for AI. It's going to be. It's a new hub for natural gas. It's going to be. It's going to be the new hub for steel. Steel's back in Pittsburgh again. Public transportation is going to be needed. Medical jobs, colleges. Philadelphia is the same way. It's worse in Philly with SEPTA. They're talking about shutting down their train system or something like that. They can't afford it. Okay? Pennsylvania needs to come up with a stabilized funding source. They had Act 89. They came up with something. The Turnpike laid an egg by not being, they were obligated to pay $250 million, and then they had to knock it down to $50 million. I don't even know what they pay, and I don't even think they pay anything right now. You know why? Because the Turnpike system was so screwed up and in debt because of Joe Brimmeyer that is exactly what happened. Okay? All right? And that's exactly why another reason why I'm glad I got out of Pennsylvania. Because one of these days, if you keep voting in these progressives and everything else, you're going to have more and more of a problem. And you have a problem now. Slowly, the progressives are getting out. But you know what? It's not fast enough. They have to get out now. You got to get them out. Because they're ruining your city, they're ruining your county, and they're ruining your state, and they're ruining this country. But President Donald Trump's not going to let that happen. And I don't blame him. Okay? That tonight is the way I see it. I want to thank everybody on Facebook, Shane and John. And I want to thank all you who commented tonight. I want to thank Blake, Pensman Sports, Cyberewski, and Josh, beside the fact that your comments were what they were. I want to thank you for at least wasting your efforts on trying to piss me off. You did a little bit, but you know what? It's not going to happen again. And I told you to stop, and you did. I had to get my Sergeant of Arms, Pensman, to step in because I'm too busy talking here right now to be dealing with you. Okay? All right. I told you where to take it. Not here. Take it there. Let him deal with you, because I sure don't. Okay. And you know what's going to happen if this happens again? You're not going to be able to come on here and talk like that. All right. So think about that for a minute. And you can call me, and you can email me, and you can do whatever, and I'm just going to ignore you, because until you learn how to behave, that's not going to happen. And I know what you're going to say. Freedom of speech, anything I want. No, you can't. Not on this program. I have topics at hand. As long as it has to do with that, that's fine. But to come on here and accuse me of something, no. Okay? It's not going to happen again. I will guarantee it. And if it does, I have a strike 3 program. You've been told once, you've been told a second time, and you're not going to be told a third time. You're out. I'm Ralph Williams. Thank you for watching, and be safe tonight. And until next week, have a safe week. And please don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, don't forget to follow me on my Twitter platform. I want to thank you for that as well. It's going up sky high. It's starting to get there. It's moving up and moving up and moving up. And it's not going down. Okay? All right? And thank you for watching tonight and every Wednesday night. And please don't forget to support Pensman Sports. Don't forget to support the Tiger Sports Network with Brian Pettit. Don't forget to support them. Follow them. Subscribe to them too. Till next week, have yourself a great one. Be safe, please. Thank you.